Hey, what's up you guys? Shartimus here doing another Marvel Legends figure review on another X-Men animated series figure. We have Jean Grey, another Hasbro Pulse exclusive. Again, this is not for everybody. I did pick this up because I like collecting the X-Men animated series figures, and again, I really like this VHS style packaging. It looks really cool with what we're seeing on the cover, and the sides of the box look really good as well. And then you can see Jean Grey next to the other X-Men animated series figures I have from Marvel Legends. On the back, there's a read-up over here. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it right now. On the top of the box, it says X-Men, and then you get a Jean Grey logo right there, and then not much more at the bottom aside from the plastic-free packaging sticker and some warning stuff. All right, let's get to it and crack this thing open. But before we crack this thing open, I want to give a big thanks to today's sponsor. I got to give a big thanks to today's sponsor, Factor Meals. You guys have heard me talk about it before, but I'm kind of guilty of eating bad food. I love my junk food, and I'm trying to take it down a notch. And one of the ways to do that is eating Factor Meals. So with Factor Meals, you're getting affordable, delicious, and quick and easy food to make, man. You could throw it in the microwave, or you could bake them in the oven. I personally prefer going the oven route because it's really high quality food and you're doing it right when you're doing it with the oven. I just gotta say, that's the easier way to go. But if you're in a pinch for time, microwave is good too. They got all kinds of delicious veggies in there. Everything's seasoned really well. I had the salmon. I've had several of them, but I was surprised how fresh the salmon tasted. It was really delicious. I highly recommend it. If you're in a situation like me where you kind of get a little on the chubs and you kind of want to take it down a notch, you want affordable, delicious food to help you with that, Factor Meals is the way to go. So use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code POGSPrime130 for $130 off across 6 boxes. And here's Jean Grey out of the packaging. And I gotta admit, I'm not as sore about this figure as I was with the Mr. Sinister. I'm not as stoked about it as I was with the Wolverine, but still, she's not looking too bad. Anyway, we do get some accessories with this figure, so let's get a closer look at those, and then we'll get a closer look at Jean! So we don't get too many accessories with this Jean Grey figure. I wish she had some blue effects. That would have been cool. In the cartoon, it was a blue effect. But yeah, you get fisted hands, which we're still kind of just now getting with the female figures. And I think they look really good. They have solid paint apps on here, so I'm happy to see them come with the figure. However, I just wish we had some effects. This hand right here has some weird blue smudging on it, you know, and they all have the vertical hinges on them. So we do get 2 head sculpts with this figure. You can see the obvious ponytail head sculpt, and then we also get the long hair down, or unponytailed hair, just long hair version, which I only took like one picture of her with this, or just one pose with this on here, because in the animated series, unless she was in street clothes, she always had the ponytail. So this is the only head sculpt I feel like the figure really needs, because this is an animated series version, and it is the same exact head sculpt that we saw on the last Family Matters 3-pack. Now this one does have some variances of color aside from the obvious cell shading that they added to it. This is actually a lot closer than I thought it would be, but you can see that they added gold right over here and there's no gold added on the side, but the yellowish orange color that they've used here is, you know, pretty much the same between the two regular figures right here. And of course you can see they did use a specific image that I found online right here for the cell shading on this, and I don't know if it was the very best choice or not. It's just okay to me. Like, this doesn't bother me nearly as much as the Mr. Sinister, because I feel like we're getting a solid front light source over here. You can see the light, or the shadows, are all being displaced evenly for the most part. You can see on the thighs right here, you have shadow on the left side of the right leg, and it's on the left side of the left leg as well. So that makes me happier to see. And some of these shadows are angled so that the light source is coming just slightly from the left. So there's some direction there, and I like that. You get a little bit of a blue trim around these black rectangles right over here, and yeah, everything else is just pretty much the same as what we'd seen before. You guys know the articulation for this figure, but just to demonstrate, you can still move the head all the way up, and you can move it all the way down, turn side to side, and you get great head pivoting right here. The shoulders move outward, and they move down, forward just that much, back that much, and we do not get the pinless double jointed elbows on this figure. Very frustrated with that. We did not get them on this version, and we still don't have them on this one, and it's troublesome because you can't get her hand to touch her head. It always looks weird when I try to do this, and that's part of her power set, man. Hasbro, why didn't you sneak in the Shriek arms here? That would have been great, especially because we already have this love triangle version. So anyway, you could rotate at the elbow, and then you get wrists that turn side to side, hinges up and down. Same thing on this side right here. You get the torso swivel back, forward a little bit right there. Hips move outward that far. Ooh, this is really gummy. You can kick forward that much and back only the tiniest bit, upper thigh cut, and double jointed knees. For whatever reason, this left knee is like really gummy. Like the plastic feels very, very soft right here. Not as bad on this side. Anyway, the ankles do move down. They do move up, and she has beautiful ankle pivot. Now to measure out this Jean Grey figure, you can see that she is standing just a little over 6 inches tall. And then for a quick Jean Grey size comparison, you can see we have our Love Triangle 3-pack version, shout out to Pat, and we also have the animated version right here. Out of these two, which one do you prefer? I mean, I obviously prefer this one. If the dark red hair has bothered you for a long time, well, you could go ahead and put this one on. I'll just see, I'm sure you guys are curious, to see how this looks, and it actually doesn't look too bad. Actually, they didn't do anything crazy with the shadowing on this particular head sculpt, so yeah, not too shabby at all. And for a Marvel Legends X-Men animated series figure comparison, you can see we have the Mr. Sinister, we have Jubilee, and Wolverine. Out of these four, which one is your favorite? Mine is still just definitely the Wolverine. It's between these two as far as second favorite goes. Definitely lashed. And then here's the X-Men animated Jean Grey figure. Next to your average 6-inch scale figure, we have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Ooh, another redhead. Hey, I recognize you. Yeah, you're from the picture. I am a big fan. If you happen to have any more... Oh, another redhead. Hi, my name is Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown... So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, show some love to the channel by simply clicking that like button. And if you're new here, do not forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. And this Jean Grey figure is one that actually did not disappoint me like the Mr. Sinister. It's just all about the paint apps with these X-Men animated series figures. They're novelty pieces. There is not much new going on here with most of these figures. With this particular figure, I think the only new we are really seeing is the fisted hands. I don't think there's anything else that's coming with this figure that stands out to me as it being new, so it's really just the paint apps that we're really looking at over here. And for this particular figure, I don't think they did a bad job. Like I said before, if they have a solid light source, it makes sense to me. It works. But it's all over the place, and it just seems like they don't have a solid direction, whether it's an actual Google searched image or not. It frustrates me. So this one does not look nearly as ugly as like the Mr. Sinister one does. So it's okay. It's cool. I'm satisfied. I'm not stoked about it though. So it's just one that kind of has me feeling like we should have really gotten some kind of effects pieces with this. I would have really liked to have seen that. And at the price point of around $27, 27 to 30 bucks, I guess nowadays. Oh my goodness. I'm going to give this Jean Grey figure a sud rating of meh. And aside from the lack of effects parts, we really could have used those upgraded double jointed elbows. I had mentioned the toe articulation to Ryan at San Diego Comic-Con, and he mentioned how they like to slowly roll things like that out. Well, this one, that should have been a quick rollout. Like this one, I really wish they had included it, so that bums me out. But I'd like to know what you guys think. If you'd let me know in the comment section below, I'd appreciate it. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and whatnot. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button and joining me on Patreon. And I will catch you guys later. Peace!
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't. Your face.